everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for our first seasonal event of the Let's Play. And I'm very excited because this is a very special seasonal event. Before we get going, I did change up some of the color settings. I've been trying to improve the color correction and color balance recently, and I think I found a setting which actually makes it so I don't need any color correction. Hopefully I won't need any color correction. Please let me know if it looks better or worse in the, down in the comments. I will definitely be taking feedback into consideration. But this should, hopefully, if things go as well as I think they will, with the capture, then I shouldn't need to do any color correction because of the settings I changed. Anyways, our seasonal event today is known as the Rising. This is a yearly event that happens around August 27th in order to celebrate the reboot of Final Fantasy XIV, the release of A Realm Reborn, which was, as you may be aware, a major milestone in the game's history. It is the event that set it from nearly destroying Final Fantasy as a franchise to one of their most popular titles and one of their most successful titles. The turnaround for Final Fantasy XIV is unbelievable. So of course they're going to celebrate the anniversary of that turnaround every year. So let's begin by, that's not how you stand up, Satora. Let's begin by talking to the Wandering Minstrel here in Ul'dah. We're right by the Aetheryte Plaza. The Wandering Minstrel is the one who gives the Rising every year, and every year the quest is of course different. Seasonal events always change from year to year, they're never the same thing twice. Alright, Wandering Minstrel, what do you got for us? The Wandering Minstrel has a request for an inexperienced adventurer. We need to be level 15 for this seasonal event. I'm not sure when we'll be able to do the next seasonal event after this, because most seasonal events are level 30, this is level 15, which is nice. Hopefully we'll be able to get to level 30 relatively quickly before the next seasonal event, because I do want to start doing these regularly when they come up. Our rewards will be a bit of experience, a bit of money, and a minion, a Clockwork Solus. Solus is a character who we will be meeting in due time, eventually. He's one of the more interesting characters in Final Fantasy XIV, and he has a bit of a reputation. We'll get to him, though. Greetings, friend. By your dauntless bearing, I assume you are an adventurer. As for myself, I am a humble wandering minstrel, one who draws inspiration from the daring deeds of those in your calling. If you have a moment, there is a favor I would ask of you. Will you not hear me out? Sure, I can listen. What's the favor? Of late, more people are seeking to take up adventuring. Not all are yet wise in the ways of the world, however, and I fear they may fall prey to less principled types in Ul'dah. There's no shortage of those, unfortunately, indeed. If one such as you were to help them on their way, I would feel more at ease. What say you? Will you not take a fledgling adventurer under your wing? Sure, let's do it. I am truly grateful. Now, I believe a carriage is due to arrive shortly. If you go and wait at the Gate of Nuld, chances are a soul will wander in who has just embarked upon the path of adventure. Pray greet them and offer your help. Worry not, you'll have no trouble identifying them. You need but look for someone absorbed in their surroundings. Heh, I dare say it'll feel like glimpsing into the past, right to the part where you are greeted by a helpful stranger. Oh my gosh, is that what we're doing for the Rising this year? Oh my gosh. So if you start the game in Thanalan, you come in through the Gate of Nuld, looking around, and then a helpful NPC, specifically Wyman, who I believe is down that way, walks up to you and offers help. So we're just going to be on the other side of the coming to location quests. That's fun. That's funny. That's really cute, actually. Holy shit, it's the exact same cutscene as if you started Thanalan. Oh, that's so good. I love this game. Holy shit. That's funny. Oh, it's exactly the same. Oh gosh, what does Wyman say? I haven't actually started in Thanalan, so I don't actually remember what he says. Let's just be welcoming. Who are you? Well, I'm an adventurer, kind of like you. An experienced adventurer, you say, and you want to help me on my way? Well, I could certainly use some guidance. I've never been anywhere near as big and busy as Old Da. My name is Nagia Jakya, but just Nagi will do. And as you rightly guessed, I'm an aspiring adventurer. That's why I left my village and came here. So I understand that you first need to register at the Adventurers Guild. Do you know where it is? Well, thankfully, it's just right up the stairs over there. Just through that door, is it? Thank you, I'll head there at once. Nagi rushes off before you can offer further explanation. Perhaps we should follow him to the quicksand. Well, let's go be Nagi's mentor. Oh, this is really cute. I love this. This is fantastic. Alright then, Nagi, there you are. Who are you talking to? In and out. In and out. Come on, Nagi, you can do it. It's just Momodi. She's not that threatening. She's a Lala. You could punt her. Don't punt her, though. She's one of the good ones. Oh, Lalafels. I don't know if I've explained my issue with Lalafels before. I do have an issue with Lalafels, both in terms of how they're used in the story, as well as how players tend to play them. Ooh, I've got issues with Lalafels. Oh, it's you again. To be honest, I'm quite nervous. It's heartening to have you here, too. Why, hello there. What can I do for you today? The lad's here to register, is he? Yes, madam. I wish to join the Adventurers Guild. My name is Nagia Jakya, and I'm 16 years old. Practically a man grown. Heh, aren't we a lively one? Momodi's the name, and if you want to be an adventurer, then you've come to the right woman. There's nothing to it, really. You just need to write your name in the register. Come. With that, you're officially a member of the Adventurers Guild. If you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing a tale of a gentleman's woes with the women folk from time to time. Fair enough. She probably just wants to laugh at them. Now then, normally I'd offer you the grand tour, but in light of present company, I reckon you ought to have it from her. She's your senior in adventuring after all, and you could do worse than to get her advice. I mean, I've helped out a bit. To begin with, mayhap you could recommend a guild here in Old Da for Nagi to join. If it's too noisy in here, there are benches just outside where you can have a nice little chat. Oh, well, perfect. We've picked up all the combat classes, so we have experience in everything. So we could really figure out what this guy would be best at. Of course, it's not just best at, there also has to be a level of enjoyment. If you're good at it, but you hate it, then you're not going to be very motivated. I must confess, choosing a guild is quite daunting. I'd appreciate any advice you can offer. The following event cannot be skipped. Alright then, fair enough. Let's talk guilds. I'm all ears, Satora. probably better to be honest. It can be pretty dangerous, so... He's almost certainly aware, but an experienced adventurer saying that. A merchant who was in the carriage with me, Brett... Bremen! asked me much the same thing. At the time, I couldn't give a proper answer. I had a reason for leaving home, of course, but I couldn't express it in words. But having now set foot in Old Daw, it's become clear in my mind. I wanted to know what lay beyond the horizon, wanted to see it with my own eyes and be amidst it. You've been to many places, right? You like it then? Traveling, that is. Honestly, the adventuring is pretty nice, but I feel like Satora eventually does want to retire once she can. She's mostly just out here to try and make some money for her family. And she just kind of got wrapped up in this and is going where the jobs lead. Plus, helping people is nice too, but... Truly, that's a little unexpected. And yet, perhaps it's when we've seen the world that we know there's a perfect place for us. One we'd like to call home. But inexperienced as I am, I don't know if I could live a life on the road. Is there a guild that could equip me with the skills I need? You want to explore. I don't think the crafters and gatherers would really equip you to survive life on the road. You need to be able to defend yourself. Of course, crafters and gatherers can always hire mercenaries and adventurers to defend them, but... I imagine you want to be able to do it yourself. You're an adventurer, after all. I see, a place where I can learn how to protect myself and others. If I recall correctly, Ul'dah is home to the Pugilists and Thaumaturges Guild. Of those two, I'd choose the Pugilists. The Guildmaster's a bit of a creep. I've always enjoyed rigorous exercise, and I'm quite confident in my physical abilities. Yes, I believe this is the guild for me. I'll go and join at once. I can lead you there. I know the Guildmaster, so... Thanks for your concern, but I should be fine. If you still have time, though, could we meet again afterwards? There are a few more things I'd like to ask you about. Great, I'll look for you here when I'm done. So that style of cutscene just there, where you go into first person from your warrior, from your main character, that's actually a relatively new thing. That started happening in Endwalker, and it's definitely going to be a more common thing from here on. I rather like the first person cutscenes. They get you a little bit more into your character, literally. You wait a good while, but there's no sign of Nagi. Perhaps you should look in on him at the Pugilist Guild. Uh-oh. Did Hamon do some shit to him? Was Hamon making him collect money? Also, if you have heard the very faint song playing, I will talk about that later. That is a song that is specifically for the Rising, and it is a very important song in this game. Let me tell you, that song makes me want to cry and get goosebumps every time I hear it. That was a most impressive display, young one. Watching you, I'm reminded of myself in my youth. Swift, strong, and handsome. Not to say that I'm not like I'm not these things anymore, of course. You're too kind, Master Hamon, and I'm sure you're still all those things and more. Now, Nagi, take care you don't flatter the old man overmuch. His neck couldn't bear his head getting any larger. Oh, Satora, I'm glad to see that pugilism agrees with me. My thanks for your recommendation. I didn't recommend it. You chose it. Well now, Satora, to think that you're the one who sent Nagi to us. The lad possesses rare talent, and I look forward to watching him grow in our arts. Right then, my boy. Remember today's lesson well and keep at your training. Next time, we shall try something a little harder. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. So engrossed was I in the combinations, I lost track of time. Oh, I should mention something. As I was training, a peculiar minstrel approached me. He said that if I'm resolved to walk an adventurer's path, I should seek him out for a task. Moreover, he asked that you accompany me. If you're willing, he's apparently waiting at the Ruby Road Exchange. Okay, now I see what's going on. Well, I've got an idea of what's going on. Wandering minstrel, what the heck are you roping us into? Alright, so Ruby Road Exchange. Perfect, we're almost there anyways. Right back where we first met up with him. Here he is, Satora, the minstrel. Indeed, this is him. My friend, you have done a splendid job as a guide. I was right to entrust the task to you. What? Do you mean to say Satora approached me at your behest? She did, I must confess. You see, for my next composition, I seek to capture the essence of the times. While any number of subjects would be worthwhile, of greatest interest to me is the recent rise in the ranks of adventurers. In thus bringing the different generations of adventurers together, I had hoped for inspiration to strike, and I'm pleased to say that it has. Drawing upon your experience walking your path, you have helped Nagi to begin walking his, a reminder that the present owes its existence to the past. That is to say, the present and the past are deeply intertwined. If we would capture the former, we cannot well disregard the latter. And this brings me to my next request. I ask that you each find an object with a connection to the calamity, the event which gave rise to the realm's rebirth, and present it to me with its tale. Well, now that sounds not unlike a treasure hunt, and it'd be my very first task as an adventurer. What do you say, Satora? Shall we do it? Alright, sounds like a plan. Excellent. When you have your items, pray seek me out at the Ruby Road Exchange. I eagerly look forward to seeing what you bring. There are many vendors at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, right? Chances are they'll have something, so let's begin our search there. We needed items connected to the calamity. Interesting. Let's see, so we're going off to the Silver Bazaar. Oh, we have that objective? Oh, interesting. We're doing a lot of stuff that was introduced in Endwalker. That's exciting. We get a preview many, many years before we can actually get to that content. Hello there, Nagia. Or Nagi, I guess you said you wanted to be called. Come on, let's begin looking around. And Nagi is now accompanying us. If we can leave him behind by entering a different area, or by speaking to him and selecting the option to part ways. If we wish to have Nagi accompany us again, return and speak to him at the original location, we must have him with us in order to complete the next objectives. While you're accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way which offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. I really like this. I like that they're bringing this back so early in the game, accessible so early in the game. Because this is a really nice feature that they added in Endwalker. I'm really happy about it. Oh, is this the local cuisine? Goodness, but everything looks amazing. In the course of your journeys, you must have sampled all kinds of food. From simple fare to exotic feasts, I look forward to sampling everything too. Alright, any more conversation points? We've got a few... Okay, we have a few objectives, so we should be able to just safely talk to people as we go. Welcome, welcome. What is it you're after? Something to do with the calamity, I suppose. Objects with a connection to the calamity, you say? Why, I have just the thing, an amethyst ring from Ishgard, steeped in sentimental value. 5 years ago, on the eve of the Battle of Cartano, a young temple knight set out from his homeland, wishing to do his part for Eorzea when his nation would not. Alas, the man never arrived in the flats. En route, he came upon a merchant being attacked by a dragon, and lost his life going to the stranger's aid. This was his ring, an heirloom passed down through his line. What a tragic tale, but I wonder, how did the ring find its way back? If the knight fell, it seems the merchant couldn't have survived unscathed. I remember now. Though the knight was mortally wounded, he succeeded in striking down the dragon, and with his last breath, he entrusted the ring to the merchant. Yes, that's how it happened. Okay, so it's a scam, got it. So what do you say? If you're interested, I'd be willing to part with the relic for a special price, but for today only. This feels a bit dubious. Oh good, you caught on too. Shall we look around some more? There's bound to be other things out there. Indeed, let's keep looking. We already did that, so next up, we have objective there, and a conversation point here. I get the feeling that this is probably going to be more likely... Oh, that's what that is. Okay. I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, we'll do that objective last. House of Splendors. What kind of place is this, I wonder? I see you're not familiar with the house. We offer wares in exchange for scripts, but our services are available only to those whom we know and trust. So if I want to be a customer, I need to make a name for myself. One day, Nagi. One day. One day indeed. Good luck. Alright, hello there, Nanabe. Greetings from daily necessities to unusual curios. I deal in all manner of wares. If there is something in particular you seek, you need but ask. Objects to do with the calamity. The two of you are adventurers, are you not? In which case, I have something that may be of interest. It's a journal I acquired from an adventurer who retired injured. The man recorded his experiences during the calamity in detail, and I dare say it has value for students of history. Ooh! Oh, an adventurer's first-hand account. I'd love to pore over it. Do you keep a journal of your adventures as well, Satora? If so, I'd love to read it too one day. With your permission, of course. Oh, for another historical piece, I also have a scrapbook of articles from the Raven, Gridania's leading tabloid. These mainly cover events outside the calamity, however. Articles from the Raven, you say? So far, so good. Let's look around just a little more. I don't know, the journal sounded promising. And yes, I do have a journal, if you want to read it someday. Alright, you're the last person. Greetings and welcome to my exhibit. Feel free to browse at your leisure and don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions. So that painting right there is actually, I believe, a painting you can get for your player house, if you get one. I forget exactly how you get it, but I know I have seen it as something you can pick up. I just forget where I got it from, or where I saw it, rather. I think you can also order, like, real posters of this online in the real world? We're looking for objects that bear a connection to the calamity. Do you have anything that fits the description? As a matter of fact, I do. Yonder painting entitled the Sultana 7 depicts an inspiring event from the calamity. 'Twas the final days before the fall of Dalamud in its inexorable approach, foretelling our impending doom. Panic spread like wildfire while many in their desperation turned on the Sultanate. Looting and rioting broke out across Ul'dah. Good. To quell the masses, her Royal Majesty, Nanamo Ul Namo, took to the streets with a guard consisting of only 7 subjects, for they alone had the courage to stand with their Sultana. There she addressed the rabble. Heed me, my beloved citizens, the realm lies upon the brink of the 7th umbral era. Yet so long as we live, we must not forget our compassion. Now is not the time to take from your neighbor, but to proffer him in the hand of succor. Brought to their senses by her words, the people laid down their arms and set about healing the wounds they themselves had inflicted on Ul'dah. And those who returned from the battlefield found their home much as how they had left it, a gleaming jewel in the desert. Her Majesty sounds like a great ruler who defends capitalism. Ul'dah is fortunate to have her watching over it. Thanks for sharing the tale. It's indeed inspiring, and you've done an incredible job capturing it in glass. I dare say we've seen enough. Let's find a quiet spot to discuss what to bring back. I think it's gonna be the journal. You've seen enough objects and learned the stories behind them. Make your way to the end of the Sapphire Avenue exchange with Nagi and speak with him. Alright then, our destination is gonna be right down here. Any other conversation points trying to sneak their way in? No, they'd usually keep them close to the main path so they don't cheat you out of them. Alright, Nagi, what are we bringing back? Right, this looks like as good a spot as any. I don't know about you, but that was all very new and exciting for me. Talking to myriad people, learning the tale behind each object, it's been a great experience and I won't soon forget it. Now then, we need to decide what we want to take to the minstrel. Have you made up your mind? The journal, the journal, the journal, the journal. I really want to read that journal. I see. I did consider that too, but in the end settled on something else. What is it? If you don't mind, I'd like to keep it a surprise. Come, let's purchase our respective items and meet back where the minstrel awaits. I'm curious what he's going to buy. I'm also curious if what he buys depends on what you pick. We obtain the adventurer's journal. Okay, but I really want to read it. I really want to read it. We're almost certainly not going to be able to read it, but... can I? No. No, it's not. It's not in key items. I don't think I can read it. I can't even read an item description. I'm so sad. Alright then, so we are heading back to the main shopping area, it looks like. Where are you, wandering minstrel? There you are, right by the elevator. Heh, you'll find out what I chose soon enough. Fair enough. Welcome back. You've each found an item, I trust? Well now, what have we here? Oh my god, wait, did he buy the ring? Please tell me he didn't buy the ring. The Journal of an Adventurer, you say? Despite the vendor's claims, such records typically do not have much historical value on account of their limited perspective and inherent partiality. Okay, but I still really wanted to read it. Yet by the same token, they have great value to me, for they offer a glimpse into the writer's heart. There is no richer material for penning verses. And it is someone who it is the records of someone who lived through the calamity, so that seems like it would be pretty interesting. Even if it is a biased and limited perspective, it is a perspective. Now then, what of you, young Nagi? And what might this be? It's a scrapbook of articles from the Raven. You see, my sister is a reporter for the tabloid. That's the one we couldn't pick. Got it. During the calamity, she traveled the realm. Wait. I think I know his sister. I'm pretty sure his sister's involved in storylines later on. Hold on. Shit. I'm looking this up. That would be this quest line. Sorry, I should have recognized from the last... If I'm right, then I should have recognized from the last name. But mentioning that his sister works for the tabloid, that is what triggered the memory. Where are you? I'll figure it out later. During the calamity, she traveled the realm interviewing adventurers about their journeys, and I loved nothing more than to hear her tales. They seemed like such a diverse crowd, adventurers. No two people were alike, and yet they were united in the free, unshackled lives they lived. It struck a chord with me, and in time I found myself admiring them. Looking back, it was my sister who instilled in me the desire to see the world, to become an adventurer. That's why I chose this scrapbook. I see, the footprint someone leaves on their journey becoming the starting point for another. Yes, a verse comes to me, a blessing for those souls who are taking their first cherry steps into the unknown. Pray, lend me your ears. Greetings, warrior of light. This is the world that exists outside your reality. Could it be a dream? A flight of fancy conjured by your weary mind? Perhaps, or perhaps not. I'm curious if he'll introduce himself. There we go. 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Naoki Yoshida, also known as Yoshi P, the director! And I have beckoned you here that I might express my gratitude. First of all, I wish to thank you for continuing to grace us with your presence. You and your fellow adventurers are our inspiration, and this shall never change. The world, however, is an ever-changing place, mysterious in its elusiveness. Unexpected hardships may turn our lives upside down, and though we all desire peace deep within our hearts, the sparks of conflict never cease to be struck. Like an adventurer's journey, the world is constantly moving towards the unknown, and it takes considerable courage to alter course. Yet I ardently believe that it is a small but significant step in our quest to create new adventures. Indeed, another great change is about to visit the world, and it shall open the way to exciting new journeys. And 'tis our abiding hope that our journey together shall ever continue on to the distant horizon and beyond. Now the time has come for this vision to end. Time for your eyes to open from this waking dream. Return to walking your path and know that you are in our hearts always. Till next we meet, I bid you safe travels. Thank you for the generous reward and the uplifting verse. It gives me courage for the road ahead. Speaking of which, it's time I set out on my own. Though it was brief, I enjoyed our time together, and I hope to see you again somewhere out there. Oh, God. Yes, I was right. Okay, we do know his sister from a later questline. It's unfortunate that we're so early in the game that we don't actually know her, so the dialogue choice doesn't make sense, but we're gonna go with it anyway. No, actually, I'll save that for my main. I look forward to hearing your tales. Though much and more was lost in the calamity, intrepid souls continue to set forth, paving the way into the future. In such a moment in history do we stand, and for you I'd perform another song. Your life Oh no. Oh God, no, I can't do the singing. I can't do the singing, and it also riffs on the song that I was going to talk about, the quiet song that keeps playing near quest objectives. Oof. Okay, I'm just going to read it out. I'm not going to sing it. I'm sorry you're not getting my singing voice because I don't have one. Your life is a riddle to bear gladness and grief. 'Neath stars and through storms, the answers to seek. Your footprints are threads to be gathered and woven. A song of dawn resplendent, dancing high to the heavens. From the embrace of the gods, through mankind has been torn. Upon winds eternal lives and memories are born. The future is unwritten, bearing it rapture or sorrow. Our journey shall continue unto tomorrow and tomorrow. Oh, rude! No! No! They reference several sad songs! No! Game, you hate me! Don't give me the feels! Not when we're too early for there to be context for the feels. I wonder, how did you feel as you watched Nagi set off? Did the sight fill you with worry for a fledgling adventure? Or did it awaken fond memories of your own humble beginnings? Still rather humble at this point, but shh. Whichever it may be, I know that yours is a journey more trying than most. There will be times when you are overcome by loneliness and each step feels heavier than the last. In such a moment, I bid you remember this. So long as you harbor love for this world, ever shall there be a place for you in it. Your adventures will never end. Really? Did someone really just send me an FC invite? We have unlocked the Jigsaw Puzzle minigame. To play minigames, open the toy chest found in any inn room. Oh, I actually haven't tried that out before. God, what perfectly awful timing. Screw you. The whole 9 yalms. Okay, I need to double check exactly how the cat's name is spelled. Jakia. Okay. I'm going to figure out exactly who his sister is because I know for a fact that we meet her. Kipi Jakia first appears as a Game Master controlled character and then in A Realm Reborn as a non-player character. So it's a mod who got promoted. Let me see. Where do you encounter her? Looks like you encounter her specifically in seasonal events, so that's where I'm remembering her from. Okay, yeah. So she is from certain seasonal events. We'll probably run into her at some point. So a little bit of an explanation for what specifically was going on in this quest, in the Rising. Every year for the anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV, they hold the Rising event, where the Wandering Minstrel offers a little bit of a quest. A bit of a quest line. A single quest, not a line, but... The Wandering Minstrel will have you do some task depending on the year, and it always ends with him composing a melody, and the melody awakening visions of Yoshi P and the dev team. The dev team will always offer some words of encouragement and thanks for people sticking with them, because again, this game has had a fucking wild history. And yeah, it's just a nice little thank you. It's a direct thank you from Yoshi P to the community. And there's oftentimes little bits of hints of new upcoming content. In this case, he was hinting towards the events of the next expansion, which we don't have a lot of details yet. As of this recording, 6.2 is only just recently released. And several people have ideas of what's going to happen. And they range from... The ideas are all basically the same thing, but there's a couple variants of what could happen. The variants I first thought of is really, really good and exciting. Other people thought of some potential negative consequences, which makes a lot of sense with what Yoshi P said. And it makes me absolutely fucking terrified of what's going to happen next. Oof, we'll get there eventually. We will get there eventually, but for now. 6.2 is new, we've got a few months until 6.3. The Wandering Minstrel himself will be appearing throughout the game, not just during seasonal events, not just during the Rising. He does appear eventually after we beat I believe after we beat A Realm Reborn, and he offers up some important stuff, which we'll be getting to when we get to it. The Wandering Minstrel himself is based on Yoshi P, but slightly altered from Yoshi P's Huron character, just to make the disguise just a little bit more of a disguise. The end of one journey marks the beginning of another. For all those who continue to forge on in a world risen from the ashes, this humble minstrel would offer a song. Thank you, minstrel. But yeah, The Rising. I'm a big fan of The Rising. It's just a fun little thank you to the community. And now we have the Clockwork Solace minion. Hooray! Finally, something new for our minion roulette. Alright then, with that, I don't believe there's too much more. Oh, Pugilist, I forgot to equip new gear on you. But yeah, I don't believe there's too much more I want to take care of today. It was just The Rising. There's new stuff in 6.2, some Very appreciated adjustments to the game. Specifically, one thing that I really like, a new feature, is this compact view, but we'll be going over that once we're back for the next proper episode. For now, hello there, Wymond. Oh, you know what? There is one last thing I wanted to talk about, and that's the song. The song playing in the background here is the somber mix of the main theme of A Realm Reborn. This song, let me talk a little bit about 1.0. So, the 1.0 version of Final Fantasy XIV was a catastrophe, as I've almost certainly talked about. It was a catastrophe. And it nearly destroyed Final Fantasy as a brand. So in order to fix it, they brought in Yoshi P, who was given a few options, and the option he picked was destroy the game and rebuild it from the ground up, going into extreme crunch for 2 years, which... I can't approve of the crunch, but it was also... the videos from back at the time, Yoshi P basically was begging people, hey, I know it's going to suck, I hate this, but I want to save this game. So, like, it was a rough situation, and out of it came something really good, and I think the dev team has definitely made strides to not crunch anymore. Anyways, 1.0 is a catastrophe. So to end off 1.0, they had it end with Dalamud coming down, the Red Moon. That's the calamity that we keep hearing about. It crashed down and destroyed Eorzea, and everything was reshaped significantly. But during the time that Dalamud was falling in-game, it lasted for several patches, several months, Dalamud slowly getting ever closer, and as it grew closer, this song began to play in the background. It was faint at first, and then it came up to about this volume, I would say, by the end, while slowly the rest of the music in the game faded away, just over the course of several months. The soundtrack was replaced by this song to symbolize the impending doom of the world. It's a really fucked up and cool way to reboot a game, honestly. But yeah. This song originated in 1.0 from the destruction of Eorzea. But for the rebooted Final Fantasy XIV, this song is called Answers. It is the theme song of 2.0, A Realm Reborn. And it is the theme song of the entire game's story through the end of 6.0. People thought they understood its meaning after hearing it in 2.0, but 6.0 and Walker completely recontextualized it, and now I am struggling not to cry. Answers is a good fucking song, and we will get to it in due time, once it has become relevant. Once the answers become more apparent, we can talk about it more, of course. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and let that song stop playing so I can stop... My tears can stop trying to escape. And with that, with the Rising done, we are going on a break. Not sure exactly how long the break will be. I'm expecting about 1 month or 4 weeks. About a 4-week break before we get back to this. And once we get back, we're going to be taking care of all the level 15 quests in Ul'dah. For both our crafters and our gatherers and our combat classes. And then once we have finished with those, it won't be too long, there's just 7 of them we need to do. We can finally begin to make a regular, steady, proper progress on the main story. But for now, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, when we return from our break, it's time for the level 15 Weaver quest. Let's see everyone next time for that.